Welcome to A Mason's Work, the podcast where we review Masonic symbols and illustrate how they can be used to solve problems in everyday life. With your host, Brian Mattox, a proud member of the Craftsman Online Media Network.
Time management is a kind of diverse set of skills. There's lots of ways to pursue managing your 24-inch gauge and managing time in general. But one of the things you come up against fairly quickly as you're growing your time awareness is very likely two different perspectives. One is patience. Patience is a sort of key skill when it comes to making sure that you are not rushing to the outcomes of your efforts. When we talk about being patient, it's about understanding that there is a probabilistic relationship between our effort and our outcomes, not a deterministic one. If our outcomes and efforts were deterministic, right, then when you lift the weights once, you would have the outcome that you're looking for. Or more succinctly, if you were to plant a flower and do all of the things, you would, if the world was deterministic, you'd be able to tell what day it would flower on. And so the world isn't quite that way. It's probabilistic, right? So there is a range of probabilities, and patience is the ability to understand that while there isn't a one-to-one relationship between effort and outcomes in most cases, there is a benefit to understanding that the outcomes will appear as a result of your efforts. The other sort of time management sort of function you want to be aware of, and many of us have felt this as well, and it's procrastination. So the difference between patience and procrastination is, again, with patience, you are you're biding your time, waiting for an outcome, but you are pursuing some level of action or effort. Procrastination, you are delaying the effort or action uh, with either the anticipation that the outcome might eventually come of its own, or the risk would be past or what have you, and therefore you wouldn't have to undertake the effort. The effort itself is the sort of part that you're avoiding in a procrastination kind of model. In a lot of cases, the reasons we procrastinate are varied, but they are more often than not either the ambiguity of the work ahead of us. We don't quite fully understand it, or in some cases, the work is not broken down into small enough pieces, or we expect that the effort itself will be at some level excruciating. So you're avoiding pain by procrastinating. Uh, Other folks that might procrastinate would do it for reasons that may be related to mental neurodivergence or what have you. Um, in my younger days, I had a tendency towards brinksmanship, so things would have to go pretty crazy before I would pull it out at the last moment and essentially devote 100% of my focus, 100% of my time and resource at the last minute at great sort of personal expense and frenetic energy. And that in and of itself provided some level of enthusiasm for me to overcome the agony of the work. But your relationship between how you work and why you work and all that kind of stuff, notwithstanding, uh, it's really important not to confuse being patient with procrastinating and vice versa. Uh, and you'll know you're doing one or the other if you're working or not. Is the simple answer. I have I have told myself wonderful stories in my day-to-day life about how patient I was being, when in fact that was just a mask for procrastinating. And in other cases, I have not applied patience where I needed to, trying to get immediate outcomes from the effort, when in fact that's not the way it works, particularly in situations where it's complex or there's other people involved, there's nuance. Those kinds of situations really call for a lot more patience than might be easy to muster sometimes. But as you are moving forward to manage your 24-inch gauge, and it is a tool with a ton of depth, if you find yourself stuck, figure out, are you procrastinating, or is this a situation that requires patience, or any other combination of opportunities that that tool provides, including things like better time management, things like scheduling, working, breaking down your work into smaller pieces, that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's the time management nutshell for today's episode.
The views represented in this podcast are those of the speaker alone and are not representative of any grand or subordinate lodge.
Hi, Brian here. I wanted to thank you so much for listening to this episode. If you have any suggestions or guidance for further episodes you'd like to see or hear, whatever the case may be, please don't hesitate to reach out to me at amasonswork.com, and we will try and incorporate your suggestions into a future recording. Thanks.
Freemasonry teaches us that the true work is within, a lifelong journey of reflection, discipline, and discovery. At A Mason's Work, we help Masons bring out their best selves through meaningful self-inquiry and symbolic practice. From personal reflection to lodge engagement, we offer tools that turn symbols into action. Visit us at amasonswork.com. The work is within. The time is now.